Good morning. It is Wednesday, the 3rd of September, and this is your news today. Coming up, the high-profile Australians attending China's major military parade. Plus, shocking video of the moment a Melbourne mum's car was stolen with her twins in the back. And how Molly Picklum made history to become Australia's newest world champion.
She is a legend this morning. But first, police have arrested and charged Melbourne neo-Nazi Thomas Sewell after an alleged violent attack on an Indigenous burial site, followed by a series of tirades.
You don't have to put your hands on me. Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our own country, you coward? Have your goons attacked me?
I'm under arrest, but this is what happens in the tyranny of Victoria.
Let's go live to 9 Melbourne reporter Selena Zhang. Selena, good morning to you. He's fronting court today.
Yeah, Carl, the 32-year-old will be back before the Melbourne Magistrates Court today after he and two others were arrested right outside yesterday. And the three of them have all been charged over this attack at Camp Sovereignty, an Indigenous gathering place on Sunday. A group of around 40 neo-Nazis stormed the site after one of those anti-immigration rallies in the CBD, and 4 people were injured. Now, before his arrest, Sewell actually gate crashed a press conference held by Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen, and you would have just heard a bit of that confrontation earlier. Now, no charges have been laid over that incident, but Sewell will be back before the Melbourne Magistrates Court again today over that attack on the weekend.
Selena, thank you. ADF specialists have been called in to track down accused Victorian cop killer Desi Freeman. The self-described sovereign citizen allegedly gunned down 2 officers over a week ago now, as they attempted to execute a search warrant for historic sex offences. Police yesterday swarming properties in Wangaratta, about 75 kilometres from Pawnpukka, with fears members of the public are helping to hide him. There's been a horrifying ordeal for a mother, carjacked in Melbourne with her twin boys still in the backseat. Stephanie Wynne turned her back for a moment when 2 thieves pounced on her unlocked van, speeding away before dropping the 4-year-olds on the side of the road.
I'm just so thankful that there's decent people in the world who stopped when they saw 2 little boys on the side of the road and took them in and cared for them.
The thieves crashing soon after. A 23-year-old woman and 16-year-old girl have been arrested.
Awful stuff. Well, Adelaide Crows player Isaac Rankin has arrived back in Australia and issued a public apology after using a homophobic slur.
There was no excuse. It was wrong, and I take full responsibility.
Let's go live now to Adelaide reporter Josephine Shannon. Josie, good morning to you. He was very emotional.
He was, Sarah. Isaac Rankin arrived late last night back to Adelaide Airport after spending the past week and a half in Italy training. Now, during that time, he says he's been reflecting and educating himself, and in the coming days, he's going to make a personal apology to his teammates and to the AFLW. Now, take a listen to what former Adelaide Crows captain Rory Sloane had to say.
I respect that apology massively. I think he said the right things too. He said he's going to talk to his teammates, talk to the AFLW team, which I love. He said he's going to be there to support his team, make sure he supports the whole footy club in going forward, and he's going to help that club.
Now, he'll only have a small chance to play again this year, and that's if the Crows lose their qualifying final tomorrow evening here in Adelaide against Collingwood, and then go on to win their way through to a grand final. Sarah.
Josie, thank you.
Australian ISIS brides are expected to be brought home before Christmas in a top-secret operation. The Australian revealing senior government officials are working with families of women and children stranded in camps. Not-for-profit organisations are also in on the plan, helping the government issue travel documents and bring them home. To the US now, where a federal judge has ruled that President Donald Trump and Defence Secretary Pete Hegseth have violated federal law. The ruling is over Trump's decision in June to deploy the National Guard in Los Angeles during immigration protests. Tragedy has hit Western Sudan with a landslide wiping out an entire village, killing an estimated 1,000 people. The armed group that controls the region has appealed for international help. It is being reported that there was only 1 survivor in one of the deadliest natural disasters in the African country's recent history.
China is preparing to unveil a new arsenal of powerful weapons in a military parade today that's being officially snubbed by the Albanese government. Let's go live to Today Federal Politics reporter Liz Daniels. Hey Liz, good to see you. There are, though, two high-profile Australians on the guest list.
Morning, Carl. Former Victoria Premier Dan Andrews and former Foreign Minister Bob Carr are in China in a personal capacity and slated to attend among a crowd of dignitaries that have assembled and will send a powerful message to the West. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un has arrived overnight in Beijing in an armoured train. Russian President Vladimir Putin has also arrived in China to be greeted by President Xi ahead of this massive parade to display new hypersonic missiles, tanks and stealth fighters belonging to the Chinese army. Officially, Australia's snubbed the event. Our ambassador will instead make a business address in another city, but those two former state premiers have decided to go, Carl, in a move that's being slammed by their former Labor colleagues as inappropriate.
Liz, thank you.
Donald Trump is back at work and happy to take questions after conspiracy theories went wild online about his health. Take a listen.
I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake.
US correspondent Reid Butler has more for us now. Reid, good morning. Nothing to see here, according to Trumpy.
Yeah, everybody calm down, Sarah. The US president, he is alive and well. But the reason we are talking about it is because Donald Trump hasn't been seen in front of cameras taking questions from reporters in a week. And that is a lifetime for the US president, right? So that meant his hotly anticipated media conference today at the Oval Office was derailed by these questions. What the announcement actually was that the US is moving the National Space Command from Colorado to the more Republican-friendly Alabama. But yes, he was still asked about those theories online that something had happened to him health-wise, and they did go absolutely viral. But Sarah, to quote or allude to that famous quote, the reports of the US president's death, they've been greatly exaggerated.
He loves fake news, doesn't he? Thank you, Reid. Well, fashion's most famous editor has finally announced who will step into her highly coveted role, naming current editor of Vogue.com, Chloe Mal, as her replacement. Wintour is stepping down after 37 years at the helm, but will remain as Vogue's global editorial director, as well as the global chief content officer for Condé Nast. Well, we've all asked our dads for a lift home in the past, but one father has taken it to a whole new level. A woman in the US asked her dad to pick her up from an airport in Arizona as she returned from her honeymoon in Cancun, Mexico. But instead, she got the surprise of her life, finding out her dad, who's also a pilot, would be flying her home instead. Be handy if your dad could fly planes, Jane.
It would be very handy indeed, Sarah. Thank you. Well, forget waiting at the lights. There's now a fresh push to let Queensland drivers run reds. Live to Today Queensland reporter Andrea Crothers. Andrea, who is revving this one up?
Brisbane Lord Mayor Adrian Schrinner believes this could help ease congestion. So in Queensland, you used to be able to turn left on reds at certain traffic lights. That was if it was safe to do so. The former Labor government, though, scrapped that in 2021, arguing that it was unsafe for pedestrians and cyclists. But the Lord Mayor says, look, in the 15 million left turns on reds that were conducted in the 8 years that you were allowed to, there were only 2 accidents, and those did not involve any pedestrians or cyclists. So he's written to the new LNP government. The ball is now in their court. Jane.
Andrea, thank you. 76% of Australians will only work in an office full-time if they receive a pay rise. A SEEK survey of more than 3,000 workers also finding 56% would only forego work flexibility for a pay rise of 20% or more. It comes as the Victorian government attempts to legislate work from home for 2 days a week. And we've all felt the panic of turning the house upside down as you search for your passport before heading off on holiday. But what if instead you came up with $1 million? That is exactly what happened to one lucky Melbourne man who was digging around his storage unit when he found an old winning lotto ticket. Wow. The man says he will use the money to renew his passport, which he actually didn't realise had expired.
Anyone who's got a storage unit.
Go searching for it.
I've got stuff. I've got stuff to hide.
All kinds of stuff. Well, a massive moment in Australian sport. Molly Picklum is on top of the world after claiming her first world surfing title in Fiji.
Check this out.
Amazing.
What a barrel. At just 22, she took down Olympic champion Carolyn Marks in a thrilling best-of-3 final. What makes it even more impressive, Picklum is just the 7th Aussie woman to win a world surfing crown.
Oh my gosh, I'm so speechless, but it really feels like the cherry on top to what I've done to my career, and personally I've really turned my life around, and yeah, I don't know, it's such a trip. Like, it's something that you can never take from me ever, and to be a world champion, to share it with Iago, and just was such an amazing season was really special, and it'll stay with me for life.
What a moment, a huge one for the Central Coast surfer, and plenty more to come. It's incredible too. She just absorbed the pressure, and she was really sick.
I know, well, that's right, yeah. But to have that kind of steely determination at such an age is incredible. Well, let's take a look at the weather right across the country for you now. An awakening trough is clearing the showers from Queensland's southeast and northern New South Wales.
We will see a sprinkle or two passing through Melbourne, Hobart and Adelaide.